Mi amigos, hola, welcome again to another episode of History, Stories and Myths here in Shepherds TV. Yeah, name is Aniko and this is our channel as usual, and as I always say, please subscribe, share, comment, hit the notification button so that you may get our notifications every time we upload a video. Now, in this episode, we are going to speak about something unique, something that some people may call superstitions. Yeah, we are talking about spiritual forms, jinns, angels, and demons. What are they? So, as we continue, don't forget, as I've said, to press that notification button if you haven't, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so by supporting us. Yeah, now let's go straight to the point of today. Jinns, angels, and demons. What are they? Starting with jinns. In the holy books, especially when we read the Bible, it states that in the beginning God created heaven and the earth. Many details about the creation of heaven have not been disclosed to man, but we have only been disclosed the happening of earth, the things created on the planet or on this universe that we know. And they are mostly flesh things. But if you go to the Islamic theories or Islamic religion, they will speak about beings that existed here on earth before the living of man, before the creation of man. They speak of beings that lived on earth before man was created. These are the jinns. Yeah. And so, what are the jinnis? And how far has man come to disclose what are the jinnis? According to Christianity, jinns are demons. But according to Islam or other religions, jinns are different beings. In Islam, they say that a jinni is a creation just like humans, but created with a flame, a smokeless flame. We can call it electricity, but what they say is that jinns are beings created with a smokeless flame. Beings that are created with a smokeless flame. So they've got abilities more than human beings. They can travel distance with a higher speed than the speed of human beings. They can be able to do great things that human beings cannot be able to do. They even can be able to live much longer than human beings can be able to live. So according to Islam mythology is that jinns are creations created before man was created. Now, to the history of this being is that when they were created, they ruled and lived here on earth. They say that jinns are beings that have the ability to decide, the willpower. God has created them with the willpower to choose whether to do the right or the wrong things. So with that, they say that the jinns are able to decide whether to serve God or not to serve God, to do good or to do evil. Jinnis are able even to decide of which religion they want to be. So it is believed that jinnis can decide either to be a Muslim or a Christian or a Buddhist or a Hindu, because they are beings just like human beings. The only difference is that they are created with a smokeless fire, whereas human beings are created with mud. That's the difference between human beings and jinns. So the jinnis existed, and they say before the creation of man here on earth, the jinnis, as I have said, there were those who are good and those who are bad. In fact, in Islam mythology, Lucifer, as we say in Christianity, or Satan, used to be a jinn. Yeah, he used to be a jinni according to the Islam mythology. In Christian mythology, Lucifer used to be an angel, but in the Islam mythology, Lucifer used to be a jinni. And according to them, they say that Lucifer used to be a good jinni that was a great worshipper of God. And because of his great relationship with God and the knowledge of God and always the desire to please God, God raised him above all the other genies to the level of angels. You understand? So he was not an angel, but he was lifted in hierarchy until he reached the hierarchy of angels. Yeah, that is Lucifer. And so after reaching the hierarchy of angels, Lucifer was allowed to reign as angels reign. But one day God decided to create man. And after he created man, God demanded that the angels and all the other creatures to bow before man. But Lucifer will not bow. And so, according to Islam mythology, that is what caused the fall of Lucifer. That Lucifer, the jinn, because according to them, Lucifer decided to tell God that the man has just been created with mud and he will fall at any time if tempted. And so God allowed him to go. And that's why Lucifer, the Satan, even up to today, he continues to deceive humankind. In Islam, they call him Iblis. Yeah. Back to our stories of Jinni. So these are jinnis. And even up to today, there are many Muslims who believe that there are jinnis that can help man to acquire greatness in this world of the living. Because they believe that jinnis have been able to live for a very long time. They know wisdom, they know places where treasures were hidden, they know how to acquire wealth, they know how to talk to things in distant places. They can travel in distant places, and maybe they are not even controlled with time. They are above time control, so they can be able even to help one to predict the future. That is according to Islam. Those are jinnis, and that's why you realize that there are some Islams who have been able to summon and acquire jinnis, so that jinnis may help them to rule, or maybe to acquire wealth, or maybe to work. Some of them use jinnis to treat diseases, because the jinnis, as they say, jinnis know a lot more than human beings. And as we know, diseases have existed for a very long time, as much as human beings have been able to exist. So I'll say that with this aspect of knowledge of things about the universe, about the human beings, about the spiritual realms, about the non-physical realm, about distant travels, about tomorrow, or maybe traveling beyond time, because tomorrow is only controlled by time. There is only tomorrow as long as there is time, because if there is no time, there is no tomorrow. If we are able to travel beyond time, we will be able to know what is happening tomorrow. And so the jinnis have that ability. They are able to travel beyond tomorrow. Now, how are jinnis able to acquire health, wealth, or information for a person, and what do they always require? Now, this goes deeper to sacrifices and what men can offer, because in every aspect of life, you only get after you have given. You cannot get if you cannot give, especially in the realm of the non-physical world or the non-physical phenomena. So what I'll say is that jinnis always require a certain level of sacrifice for them to be able to do a certain kind of service to the person of which they have been able to fall under. And I'll say it's not that the jinn have fallen under this person's leadership or rulership. It is only that the jinn have been able to accept to work for this person. And this person is not their master per se, but this person has decided to obey the rules and regulations of the jinnis and tame them. He has not actually tamed them, but he has agreed to work with them. He has agreed to their rules and regulation. He has agreed to what they have been able to tell him. So the jinns will always accept you if you accept them. They will give you wealth. They will help you get information on how to treat certain diseases. They will tell you even what medicine to use, as long as you are able to adhere to their rules and regulations. And sometimes it is said that even the genies, they are under authorities. So if you are able to acquire a genie, what you are expected to do is to listen to the higher authority that the genie obeys. Whatever the higher authority that the genie obeys will tell you, you will be able to do, and you must do for the genie to obey you. So in that realm of the genies, there are those that obey masters that are above them, and by so doing you are able to control them. Some desire great sacrifices, like the sacrifices of blood, of men, of rams, of goats. And sometimes they can cause havoc. They can cause great havoc if they have not been attended to. In Muslim, as I have said, in Islam, as I have said, the genies are just a creation like human beings, but they are created with flames, smokeless flames. And this means as much as human beings can reproduce, or creations can be able to reproduce, also genes do reproduce. They also give birth to children of their kind. They also give birth to sons of their kind or daughters of their kinds, and they multiply. So if you are able to acquire a genie, a male and a female, know that they will be able to multiply, and as they multiply, the demands of them from you will continue to increase. And if you don't do according to their will, they will always cause havoc. Now, some people ask, can genies take form or change form? Okay, I have heard that genies can be able to change form and take a physical form of a man, especially of their owner, so that they may be able to do the biddings of their owner, or to cause havoc in that region. For instance, I have heard of a genie that was able to turn to look like his own owner, in order to be able to sexually assault the wife of the owner, because at this stage the owner did not appease him. So the genie will be able to take form of the owner and assault his wife openly, publicly. The wife will be even in the farm digging and cultivating the plants, and then she will see her husband coming and just laying her down and sexually assaulting her. But if she will go home and ask her husband of what kind of a behavior that is, the husband will say, I was not even at home at that time. Until it came a point that the husband realized that it wasn't him who was doing this thing, but the genie that he had already acquired and was master over. And so genies, according to this story that I heard, genies can be able to change forms and become like a man or a woman or a girl. I've also heard of stories that a genie changed form and became like a woman and seduced men, a very beautiful, lovely woman, and seduced men. And after that, they were able to use those men for their own bindings. You understand? So that is the realm of genies, and what genies are, and what they can do, and what they can't do. In Christian mythology or Christian beliefs, genies are just demons like any other demons, because according to Christians, there are many demons, different in hierarchy, different even in stature. For example, in Christianity, we speak of the fallen angels, which they are demons. And in Christianity, there is also a hierarchy of demons, as we try to categorize genies as demons. There are different hierarchies of demons. There are princes or principalities according to the Bible. There are principalities, there are rulers, there are principalities, rulers, and spiritual wickedness. There are different categories of demons, and all these fall under those who fell from the grace of God, from the heavens, the angels. You understand? So the highest hierarchy of demons are principalities, the princes. The princes in demons are the fallen angels. Now these are the fallen angels, and the principalities, they are those who acquired power from heaven, because when they fall, God did not take the power from them. What God took from them was authority. And so when they fell from heaven and God had taken authority from these principalities, what they were left with was power. And so their principalities, they are very powerful, And so the princess, if you read in the Bible, in the book of Daniel, you realize there's a time that Daniel is praying and fasting for 21 days. And as he is fasting and praying, after 21 days, Angel Gabriel comes with this answer and tells him that you were answered. Immediately you began praying. But when I was coming with your message, I was delayed because the prince of Persia was able to capture me. So until I summoned the help of Angel Michael is when he came and delivered me from the hand of the prince of Persia. So this prince of Persia was a principality, and he was more powerful than Angel Gabriel because he was able to tame and maybe arrest Angel Gabriel for a certain period of time, even for 21 days, until Angel Michael came to his rescue. So what does this mean? It means that there are demons that are very powerful. The princes that are very powerful, and mostly the princes, they control territories, great territories. And so under the princes there are other demons. There are other demons, as the Bible says, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against spiritual wickedness. So there are rulers, there are principalities, there are rulers, there are powers, there are spiritual wickedness. And mostly in Christianity, we'll categorize the jinnis as demons that are of the lowest form. Yeah, of the lowest form. And so it is true that when you acquire them, you must be able to submit yourself to the authority above that particular jinni, even according to Christianity. We don't consider jinnis as a different just any creation, but as part of the demons or the demonology. This will be a creation or an introduction to the demonology, while we work and do our own findings and research about the demonology. We shall create a whole episode of demons and demonology. So that is how it is. Also, part of the demons that fell are after the angels fell and slept with the daughters of men, it is said that they gave birth to giants, which were destroyed and killed during the great flood of Noah. But even after that, it is said that spirits don't die, and so the spirits of this abomination that came as a result of the mingling between the sons of men and the daughters of the sons of God and the daughters of men, this abomination, it is said that their spirits did not die. Their spirits became demons, tormenting human beings. So that is also part of the demons that fell. So we have a great hierarchy of demons, from princes, rulers, powers, spiritual wickedness to mere demons. All of these are hierarchy of demons. And so in Christianity, the belief is that jinnis are also demons. To the world of angels. Now, angels, the word angel comes from the Greek word angelos, which simply means messengers. Angelos, which simply means messengers. So angels are sometimes categorized as messengers of God. You understand? And in the whole aspect of messaging, is not just sending messages, it's about obeying the command of God, obeying what God tells them to do towards men, towards the world, in worship, in everything. To some aspects, it is said that angels are not created with the power of will or with willpower. They are created to do what God tells them. And even it is said that even the fallen angels that fell, they never had their own willpower. What happened is that God allowed them to do what they did. God allowed them to do what they did, even to test man. So that is one of the beliefs. But though it is said so, the fallen angels did what they did. And so some people believe that the fallen angels were not doing the will of God, but they were doing what they thought. So by so doing, some people say that angels must be able to decide what to do. Because even Lucifer, according to Christianity, Lucifer was an angel who fell from heaven, and he was an angel of a high rank, because it is said in the Bible, in the book of Ezekiel, that he was in Eden, the garden of God. He was created with such great beauty, and even precious stones were part of his adornment. And in him were created musical instruments. Musical instruments were his embodiment. So if you want to know more about Lucifer, there is a whole episode that I speak about Lucifer. You can go research on it and bring it up. So in angelology, as I've said, angels are different beings, and I'll say they are spiritual beings. Spiritual beings are non-physical beings, beings that exist in a higher realm than the realm of man, because the realm of man is the physical realm, which is the lowest realm of existence. But the realm of the spirit have different hierarchies, and so angels exist on a high-ranking realm of spirituality. Yes, they might be creations with embodiment, but their bodies are not bodies like ours. They don't have flesh and blood. They don't eat meat or potatoes or ugali or vegetables like we do, but they exist in a different body. They are not controlled with time, because angels don't die. They are not controlled with time. The place and the realm of which they are existing is different from the realm that men are existing. They can take forms and change forms. If they want to be seen by men, they can be able to appear in different forms. And so this takes me to the different angels that we know of. Angels is a name given to these beings that are messengers of God. But all these beings that are messengers of God, or all these beings that are called angels that do the biddings of God, are different in shapes, different in the way they look. Why do we say so? The reason why we say angels are of different types is because the Bible shows us so. There are angels with wings, and there are angels without wings. There are angels that appear in look just like we are. If you see them, you can think he or she is a man. There are angels that are very terrifying. Okay? In this episode, let me rank them according to their closeness to God. According to the Bible, there are different angels according to their closeness to God, and also according to their duties. Number one, I will start by the seraphims and the cherubims. The seraphims are angels that are really scary in looks. The Bible calls them the fiery ones. Actually, the name seraphim means the fiery ones. They are the flaming ones, the ones with flames. And so the seraphims are closest to God because they are called purifying angels. Their work is to purify. They are the fiery ones. They look like flames, you see, and so they are close to God. Number two, we have the cherubims. They are also the closest to God because they guard the glory of God. Yes, that is their duty, the cherubims. So that's why you realize that the Ark of Covenant, when it was created, it was engraved with the cherubims. When God wanted to guard the Garden of Eden, he sent the seraphims. And so those are the closest angels to God. If you read the book of Ezekiel chapter 1, you realize that Ezekiel is seeing a vision of God, and then he sees the cherubims and the seraphims, and then you see different angels with different looks. Some of them have many eyes. The wheels themselves were angels because they have life in them. The normal wheel don't have life in them. They have spirit in them. And so you realize these are angels. Okay, the intertwined wheels, the creatures with the head of a man, with a head that has four different lookings. On one side is a face of a man, on the other side is a face of a lion, on the other side is a face of an eagle, and on the other side is the face of an ox. and that is also an angel. It is very scary. So those are angels that actually are close to God. And also, as we continue, we see that the Bible speaks of the sons of man, the sons of men and the sons of God. And so these are different people. The sons of God are said to be angels that looks exactly like man. And it has been come to be believed that the sons of God are angels that have duty here on earth. They just go to heaven to report what is happening on earth. If you read in the book of Job, you realize that the Bible speaks of the sons of men that were going to give their accounts before God and or to represent themselves before God. And Lucifer went among them. So there was Lucifer among the sons of God. So it is said that the sons of God are angels that have duties here on earth. Some of their duties are to take our prayers to heaven, or some of their duties also are to protect man from the demons or from harm, or those who trust in God and believe in God, to join those who worship God in their worship with God. And they don't have wings as we may perceive, they just look like man. If you see them, you may think he is a man. But we have heard of stories also that men have been able to see angels. They didn't have wings, but they never saw them again. For example, there was an instance of a man who fell under a collapsing building, and a huge brick, a huge slab laid on top of him, and he just saw a simple man coming and lifting a whole slab and putting it aside and going away. And so when this guy, construction worker, was taken to hospital, during the diagnosis, they really realized that his body seems to have been laid on with a very heavy substance. And he said, yes, it was a concrete that was on top of him, very heavy. And so a man just appeared from somewhere and lifted it so simply. And since that time, he never saw that man again, and that man went away. That is one of the incidences. So they say that the sons of God are different from other angels in that in their appearance they can just look like man. Some say that they are here with us, they walk among us. Yes, we see them every single day, but we cannot know whether they are angels or the sons of God. So be careful whom you talk to. A stranger, if you talk to a stranger in a bad way, you might be talking to the Son of God. Yeah. Now, as we continue, that is one part of the angels. Now, there are also angels with different duty. We know of Angel Michael, and Angel Michael is known as the angel who is in charge of messages. Yes, he always delivers messages in the Bible. If we realize that when Jesus Christ was about to be born by the Virgin Mary, it is Angel Gabriel who appeared to Virgin Mary and told her that the child that she is carrying is a holy child. He will be called Emmanuel. And so he appeared with the message of God. Also, when Daniel is praying, as I have said, it is Angel Gabriel who brings the message to Daniel. So there are also those angels that are categorized by the job that they do as Angel Gabriel. We also have Angel Michael, who is in charge of war. He is a man of war. His own duty is to fight. And so the angels are different in looking, different shapes, and they have different duties. Every single one marvels in their duties, because Angel Gabriel cannot marvel in war, as Angel Michael cannot marvel in delivering messages to men. His own is to fight. That is how angels are categorized, and those are the different categories of angels. I've spoken of the jinnis, I've spoken of demons, and I've also spoken of angels. If you like to hear more and know more of angels, how they operate, how they are invited, how can we be able to know that angels are around us, you can comment on that comment button and we shall be able to answer you. If you want a video on angels and angelology, we can also be obliged to bring unto you that. So please hit the notification button, subscribe, and comment with us, and you'll be able to see many of our videos. So as I've said, this is History, Stories, and Mysteries here in Shepherds TV. My name is Aniko. Ciao.